Let's make a monument for our love, our love, our love, our love. There's a memory around the corner. There's an angel on our shoulders to remind us life is far from over. This is our time. I wanna drive an open road. Can we go out tonight? Anything goes. Let's make a monument for our love, our love, our love, our love. Let's make a monument for our love, our love, our love, our love. Every night is ours to own. Everywhere is ours to roam. Every sunshine gold. Everywhere. Let's make a monument for our love, our love. Hey, another monument for our love, our love. Let's make a monument for our love, our love. Another monument for our
You're listening to the RMPodcast, the official podcast of Red Moon Productions. Here are your hosts, Brandon Davidson, Keith Cheatham, and Sean Sebastian. Enjoy.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Red Moon Podcast. Little late, little delayed, but you know what?
Better late than never.
We always arrive precisely when we mean to. I am one of your hosts, Brandon Davidson, alongside our normal new host,
Sean Sebastian.
And
You lied because you didn't mean to be 5 minutes late. Keith Cheatham.
that's true. You're right. I didn't.
It happens sometimes.
But you know, yeah, sometimes you gotta deal with the little technical glitches. You got the gremlins in there.
yeah,
The gremlins. You gotta work them out.
Yeah.
Sometimes you update your computer and the update ends up ruining everything.
Even
Yep.
if it's 5 days before, if you don't check the right crap,
Yeah.
you
You know,
get
you
screwed.
think when you update your computer, that means it's going to work better, not brick everything.
Well, and it's funny because you never know with Windows.
Yeah.
They always love to surprise
Okay,
you.
I used to say Windows, but anymore it's like I
Just
don't
about
know
anything now.
Apple,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all of them.
Your phone, I mean, it could be anything. I
It's
mean,
like-
everything gets updates now, and you're like, ooh, I want the latest,
That's
greatest.
what happens with complacency. See, Apple
We
got
talked about that. That was a
complacent.
vice.
We did.
remember?
Yep.
Well, and here's the weird thing. Now, sometimes, especially with this equipment, I do hold off quite a while.
Yeah.
And these
Well,
updates
yeah,
were
If
about
it works.
a couple months, but I had experienced 2 bad updates within the same week.
Yeah.
Which, that's just your run of luck with technology every once in a while.
True.
Sometimes you hit that rough patch and just not getting back to it. But we're here. We're live. Obviously, we're not letting our people down. We were scrambling, trying to figure things out. I didn't know if we were going to have a show. I was hoping. Thankfully, we're here. But, guys, we do have a great show. We got a great review scheduled and planned. But, Sean, you had a little bit of a shout-out to give because you
Wanted to do that.
you threw out a little question on the movie trivia page that Red Moon Productions is a part of.
Right.
You just had an itch, a little scratch.
It's one of those things. You ever have that thought where you can, you know the scene, you vaguely know the actor and you can't think of what film it's from, and that will keep me up at night. I'm one of those people where if I can't figure it out, I will literally not sleep. And so I had this scene from a movie in my head after we had a conversation about, I don't even remember what we were talking about, but it brought this scene into my head.
Describe it on.
So
the
basically,
scene.
like the scene from the movie that I was thinking of was I was remembering a
Titans.
woman wanting to follow her husband to see where he was going late at night because he was going out and not coming home till real late. So she follows him, and she sees that he's kind of working a second job to help make ends meet at home, and he's working a loading dock, loading bags of compost manure.
Yeah.
And that makes her like love him even more because she knows that
He's working hard for her.
Yeah, he's not
I mean,
cheating
you
on her.
gotta
He's
love
trying to
somebody.
provide.
Yeah, if you're willing to.
And so I
haul
couldn't
piles
think.
of crap.
I couldn't think of it. So we Googled it. I Googled it for 30 minutes. I mean, I was Googling everything under the sun, trying to find out what movie this was that was in my head. So
And the Googs usually has
I
it.
ended up turning to the Movie Talk group on Facebook that we're a part of, and I just described the scene and threw it out there. Said, you guys got to help me figure this out. And
Sure
enough, within about a
Boom.
half hour, I was a little worried, but somebody commented, a couple people commented. And
Yeah,
I,
the
and
first guy
we
actually
said
we thought he
Cinderella
had it.
Man. Yeah, and I thought that was
I was gonna say we're gonna name drop some peeps because they
yeah.
helped us out.
that was a Chris Mack Dice. I
Chris
hope
McDice.
Dice, maybe I'm pronouncing
Dice
the name right. I don't know.
Man.
They said Cinderella Man, and I thought, oh,
That
that
actually
could be it.
fits,
So
yeah.
I was Googling scenes from that movie, and it wasn't it. Just
Wasn't
wasn't
it.
striking a bell.
Wrong.
So then Justin David Faulkner chimed in and said it was from the movie Overboard, and immediately it was like a light bulb. Yes, it was Overboard.
There it
Kurt
is.
Russell,
Boom.
Goldie Hawn, the
Boom.
original Overboard.
There it is.
Yes. So I
Life
just
finds
wanted
a
to
way.
say thank you. I told him I'd give him a shout out on the show. He's probably not watching,
No,
but if
probably
he
not.
is, thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate it because that was going to eat me alive all night long.
It's just one of those things that festers, and you
Yes.
gotta scratch it and itch
Yes.
it, and it's like, thankfully, you feel relieved. Did you just get like a picture in your head of like a blister?
As soon, well,
I
no,
was looking
not
at
really.
our comments and before Sean said what the movie was, and I don't know if she actually already knew. I don't think she did, but Kristen guessed Overboard as well.
What? No, she was with us. She had to have been with
She
us.
just says she got it. So
She was with us when she did
She
not.
didn't have it when we were in the
I
living
we were
room.
there
no.
figuring it
Call
out.
her
the
out,
kitchen.
guys. Call her out
Kristen,
then.
now wait, are you
Liar,
pulling some
pants on
shenanigans?
fire.
I hope Brian wakes you up tonight. I'm just saying.
Oh man, that's dirty.
Sorry, Kristen. I was trying to give you some credit. I wasn't there when it happened, so I tried to help you out.
Well,
Oh,
get
well.
it, better luck next time.
She says she was not.
She was not there.
She says she was not there.
I don't believe her.
That's all right though.
I
She's
believe you,
pulling one
Kristen.
over.
I believe you.
Yeah. Well, we do have a great show. We got a good review. Run, I'd Fight.
Yeah.
New movie dropped this past week. It was a little hard to find. It's coming out, I think. Well, it's pretty much.
It's not coming out anywhere.
No, it's
No.
it's only in one place on the internet.
Yeah.
It's getting.
And you have to be a subscriber.
You have to
Yeah.
subscribe to watch it, which is kind of it does limit, which is something that
It
I
does.
kind of am disappointed in because I do think it needs a bigger audience. I think more.
Well, I figured
more
there
people
was
could
going to be
see
a
it-
way that this could be distributed more than just through the website. It's thedailywire.com
Yeah.
is the website, and I thought there would be like a paywall, like a maybe if you just wanted to do a one-time like view it, like $20.
No, that makes too much sense.
Well, yeah, but I thought that was going to be the case, and it wasn't. We found a way to view it. We actually did pay. We subscribed, and
Well,
I just
one of us
shared.
did.
Well, yeah,
One of
I
us
shared the
did and
email
shared,
with you
yeah.
all so that you all could watch it too.
I
but-
downloaded
like,
it.
Two of us got screeners.
I got a screener.
I used the login and then I got a screener the next day. So
But we're gonna jump right into that. We've got our Vices multimedia this week, talking about the miniseries The Stand. We are now up to episode 5 on that out of 10 episodes. So we're gonna
9.
give you our,
only 9.
Oh, there's only 9
Only
episodes.
9.
Oh, I thought there was going to be 10.
No, 9.
That makes me lose even
Wow.
more hope.
Well, there's only going to be 9 episodes of WandaVision. It's just
Yeah.
nowadays
it's not
it's just
that. I'm just. Well, we'll get into it on the multimedia
I was
segment.
like, nowadays there is no like even number count. It's just whatever they need to tell
Which-
the story,
and
which I appreciate.
I'm okay with that in most cases when worth it.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that a little later on. And we're going to review all of the movies that are coming out this year. The slate
We're going
of
to review every
2020
single one of them?
Every single one.
Every
Or are we going to talk
2021 film.
about them?
That's right. No, we're going to review them.
Oh, man.
We're going to review them right here.
I'm going to be busy.
You are. You better write them all here on the show.
It's got to start turning out 2 or 3 a night.
But we're going to talk about every movie that has been pushed back from 2020 and is now slated, hopefully, for this year.
Well, and even
what we're
movies
anticipating.
that weren't pushed back that are still supposed to come out this year, because there's a
Yeah.
couple of those. So
There is. But first, like we promised, here is our review of Run, Hide, Fight.
with film going straight to streaming, it's easy to miss many of the new releases coming out. When no studio or streaming service will release a film at all, however, the movie many times is lost and long forgotten. So it might have been the case for the film Run, Hide, Fight, a small indie flick that premiered at the Venice Film Festival. Controversial to say the least due to the film's subject matter of a school shooting, no one would distribute the film until conservative media outlet The Daily Wire purchased the film rights to distribute it. But does the film deserve to be shunted? Does it push any political agenda, and is it truly a film whose subject matter is best left unseen? Starring Isabel May as Zoe Hull, a high school teenager being raised by her ex-military father, Todd, played by Thomas Jane, Run, Hide, Fight tells a horrific story of a group of outcast and misfit students at Zoe's school who enact a school shooting and hold several students hostage in the cafeteria. The story follows Zoe as she does her best to survive, help others escape, and takes the shooters head on. Snidely dubbed Die Hard, set to a school shooting by critics and trashed for being tasteless, most critics that have panned the film have done so in the belief that it is either disgustingly trying to profiteer off of a serious tragedy that has happened in America, or else beliefs that the film glorifies such shootings and will only encourage others to mimic it. This is tantamount to claiming violent video games or film beget more violence, an argument that is worth having for sure, but how can you raise the debate if you quickly blacklist the narrative? Run, Hide, Fight is not a tasteless film. It does depict scenes that made me sick to my stomach, however, and this is because the film does display the truth of the situation. But the movie constantly discourages and discredits those who perform such a heinous act. The movie's message is what's most important, showcasing how systems put in place to protect us can often falter and how massive amounts of red tape can prevent others from acting in time to make a difference. The movie showcases reality and promotes its heroine as a force willing to act and stand up for what is right. Being distributed by an openly conservative outlet will immediately be a turnoff for many, but whether it's despite of its more conservative ideas or because of them doesn't matter. The film is in no way a bad movie. This is not to say it doesn't come with faults. Some gaps in believability exist in the narrative, such as a school cafeteria full of students unsupervised, but when it comes to the important plot points, such as the failure of those in charge to act due to the previously mentioned red tape, the film is spot-on accurate. Other instances, such as cliched or campy camera work and a hit-or-miss performance from Thomas Jane, are definite flaws in the film. Ultimately, however, the movie is an entertaining and well-made film of good versus evil, with good prevailing, and to find fault in that message is rather silly. Yes, the film is not for everyone. The subject matter is a tough one and may be too hard to watch for some audiences. And being R-rated, it is not intended to be seen by certain audiences. But these things do not inherently make the film bad. Likewise, concerns of it being tasteless or glorifying school shootings I find are unfounded. The movie offers up enough ideas and commentary on the subject to have a reason for existing. And it's these themes people should seize on to hopefully open up a dialogue in which we can all strive to prevent such events from happening. I give Run, Hide, Fight 3 out of 4 stars.
3 out of 4 stars for Run, Hide, Fight.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Let's do a little bit of a deep dive
get
because
into it, 'cause
here's
it's very
the thing.
controversial.
It is, but for one,
Should it be?
No.
It's controversial ultimately because it is a conservative outlet that has put this movie out for distribution. Daily Wire has made announcements, obviously, from last year that they were going to try to get into the entertainment biz because, of course, culture is downstream from, politics. And it's like, you have a lot of battle going on in the cultural game these days. And it's like if you can get a little bit of a head in the culture warfare, then you have a chance of maybe hopefully
Right.
fighting and waging a war in terms of the battle of the body of politic. But I will say the thing that I want to underscore, and I know Keith was trying very craftily to place it in the review tactfully, was that you did not want this to be a review where it's just because of anybody who's watched the show before who knows our viewpoints that slant conservatively, that we did not let that influence our opinion.
No.
Now, of course, as we talk about it, I don't think we're going to get away from those views.
Obviously, I mean,
But there's no doubt in my mind that I stand behind the 3 out of 4 star
we've
rating.
never. Well, that's something I really wanted to make, because we've never shied away from what our views are on this show. But I wanted to first and foremost rate the movie as a movie, regardless of any political slant. I wanted to be like, is it a good movie? And it definitely has problems.
Exactly.
Yes.
There were definitely things in the movie that's like, ooh, that was bad.
Oh, we're going to get into those.
Oh
too.
yeah, we are, because some of the bad things I was like, that's why I gave it 3, because I was like, I wanted
It
to
was
like
good,
it more,
but not great.
especially with some of the themes and message it was sending. Like, I do agree with, so I was like, I would love to give this a 3.5, but I was like, but that would be me being biased, and I didn't want to do that. I really wanted to say, technically, the film earns a 3 because of some of the things it does that aren't as good. But I
Right.
do stand behind some of the message, as far as like the movie brilliantly shows all of the red tape and bull crap that prevents people from being able to stop situations like this. And I love that, where they're actively trying to solve this situation, and you see the
Turn
people
in-
in the school.
you gotta turn
see
to a manual and flip through the manual.
It's like, well, we can't call lockdown until we verify, and it's like, so
That's
by
an active
so
shooting
by
or-
then,
yeah.
after they've killed all these people, then you can verify. And there was so much of it that is very true to life, and it is definitely. I understand why some people are disturbed and don't want to see the movie, because it is tough material, and it should bother you. If you watch this movie and it doesn't churn your stomach, then there's something wrong
Well,
with you.
it's funny because you did mention in the review that one critic gave it they were mocking it, saying it was
It's Die Hard in a school.
shooting, and I thought in a weird way I was like, I kind of agree,
But I'm like, what's wrong with
But
that?
there's
Die Hard
well,
was a great movie.
Well, it's like I agree, but I also disagree.
Yes.
It's like there's moments where it can feel that way, but there's also moments where I feel like it's justified in the way in which there is the fighting back from Zoe, our main character.
Our buddy Jeff
Jeff,
says, gun-free zones equals barrels of shooting fish.
Yes.
Barrels for shooting
Fish,
And I agree. It showed that in the movie,
Yeah.
where they round everybody up and have them hide in the classrooms. All it takes is one
I
person.
mean, he makes
There
the
they all
point
are.
directly. The main antagonist in the film specifically points out, for one, he's like, "There's nothing new. I read all of this stuff. It's out there, public
Yeah.
record.
Right.
It's all
I
public
used
record.
all these public records
Points out the
against
security
you.
guard
The
isn't
security
armed
guard
in any way.
is unarmed.
Yeah.
Like, he specifically makes these points of I'm using these weaknesses against you to thwart your authority and do what I want.
And the only thing that stops him is somebody acting unexpectedly and making
Yes.
it stand. And,
Yeah.
and I do agree with that. But again, there were things, going back to some of the problems. I like Thomas Jane in some things. He was definitely very hot and coldness. There were some parts I was like, oh, he was fine there, and some parts where I was like,
Yeah.
he
that
doesn't really
act-
have much of a role.
the accent, and then some of it's just, they were very cheesy. I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
he needed a better
In the
dialect
beginning,
coach.
the hunting scene I thought was good.
Yes.
And I thought
that
their
was fine.
their interaction once they get home before she goes to school that morning, I liked that, because I liked that there was some tension there. And obviously he's someone who definitely suffers from PTSD and has a lot of demons of his own. So I feel like some of his muteness or even monotone would be like someone that was suffering from that and that was dealing with that in their head, and the loss of a wife and on top of it. So I kind of understood a little bit of the dullness of his character in the beginning, but then later in the film, when you kind of feel like he would be a little bit more animated and a little bit more upset, and I felt like that.
He doesn't give
Yeah,
much.
he just doesn't give
well,
much
and
at all.
And I honestly felt like the role that he played in the movie was fine. There's a later scene I don't want to spoil too much. I thought was a little unrealistic.
Yeah.
I think anybody who watches it let me put it this way. There's a lot of things that happen in the film that you kind of have to either stretch the truth or believability for. It maybe could happen 1 in a million times.
Yeah.
But 1 in a million happens a lot in this movie.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say that's bad for that reason, but there are definitely moments where I'm like, okay, I can buy this. I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt.
It brilliantly shows out the stupidity of some of these situations, and how, like I said, the red tape prevents clear action. But then
Yeah.
there's other things where like the cafeteria had no adult supervision
Yeah.
at all. And I was
Yeah.
like, that's unrealistic. I went
Yep.
to high school.
Well, there's very few kids
always-
in there too.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, you go even in a small school, you're gonna have 40, 50 kids
Yeah.
at a
Yeah.
time,
And you're
in
going
a
to have
lunchroom.
several adults monitoring them.
Yeah.
There was
Right.
only one cafeteria
I
lady
mean,
hiding in the back.
Yeah,
We,
right,
we
right.
literally had them across the entire wall of one of our
Yeah.
cafeterias and out in the hallway.
Yes.
It was like you had them. And the thing is I almost wished it would have taken on a more realistic nature of like having those adults there, and that's kind of the first people that they go after when they start the
Yeah.
shooting, because that would have made sense. Plus, they do, again, giving the benefit of the doubt, but Sean and I were kind of talking about this well before the show, and we were talking about how I'm sorry, guns. If it's 3 blocks away and I hear a rifle, I'm gonna hear it.
You're going to hear it.
Yep.
Nobody in the school.
You're not going to hear an automatic weapon go off in a school
Yep.
and not hear it,
Yeah.
even if it's in the cafeteria.
The
3 floors
shotguns
down.
Somebody-
The
Would have
been loud
The
enough.
car driving into the
Yeah.
building, you're going to
You would feel the building shake.
Even you
Yeah.
would feel the foundation
I
of the building.
appreciated
shake.
they wanted it to be where like most of the school didn't know what was going on.
I liked that
but I
plot
wish they
point.
would. I wish they would have come up with a better, more creative way
And they
to sell
sort of
that.
did. They sort of
Sorta.
kind of used the senior prank day.
But
Yeah.
like
and
you
I got
said,
that, and I believed that for a little bit, but some of the things were a little bit like
even on senior prank day, if someone heard a gunshot, somebody,
Yeah.
somebody would
An
have been
explosion.
like, "Wait
Yeah,
a minute."
especially in the
car
school.
driving through. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a little much. So
Yep.
they definitely expect you, I think, too many times in the movie.
They stretched the
to
realm of
expend your
believability
Yeah.
a little bit, but
definitely.
But overall, I still enjoyed the movie, and I felt it was entertaining, and I did agree with its
No
message.
doubt.
It just had those minor faults that really kept it at that 3-star
Well, and that was
rather
the
than
thing.
being something better.
It did not at all. From the moment I enjoyed the beginning of the movie because it does set up for an actual caring of at least 2 of the students that you're going to focus on.
Yes.
And I at least liked the relationship they built up there. I love the little kind of it could seem cheesy, but it didn't when she's just walking down the hallway and she's telling going to her first class and she's like nothing matters in high school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're seniors about to move on.
It's like
And
nothing that happens in high school,
school-
matters, and then of course this happens.
Right.
So.
And
Yeah.
and you know
Yeah.
it's coming, and so I liked that little line of foreshadowing. Of course, we all know what the movie's about.
Right.
But then once the action actually starts, and my jaw dropped.
Yeah.
Oh,
as
yeah.
far as like
The first
it-
shots
did.
fired.
first-
you're
There,
just
there were
like-
scenes that really did churn my stomach,
Yeah.
but I'm like, that's realistic.
Yes.
And,
Yeah.
and they weren't glorifying
not
anything.
pull any
They,
punches.
they weren't glorifying it. They weren't promoting it. In fact, they villainized the people perpetrating
as
it.
they should have.
But it was still believable. They were showing what really happens.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, that
and
is
it, and it
harsh.
doesn't. And I didn't think at all they were trying to glorify. It's not like a Tarantino film.
Yeah,
No,
it wasn't.
they're
go-
not-
it
they're
wasn't
not showing
gory.
buckets of
Just
blood.
saying, it wasn't gory or
They-
over
yeah.
the top. It was. They did keep it
Authentic.
as
Enough,
tame as they
yeah.
could, but still showed the reality.
It was,
of
it was
the situation.
realistic, and from the moment that started, it had me hooked, and I seriously did not stop wanting. I didn't want to stop watching
No.
for the remainder of the film. I wanted to see what happened,
Yeah.
and I was completely engaged. And to me, it's like by the end of the film, I'm sitting here and I'm like,
Like, holy crap!
it was
yeah.
a good movie. I couldn't
Yeah.
help but get
You're
up and walk away
surprised.
from it.
It's-
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to say that, but that's how I actually felt. I was surprised that it was a good movie because I was expecting. It's under the radar. You can only watch it by subscription. It's a
well, let's
it's
be
a
frank,
movie that's
it's a
been kind of
conservative
that
outlet
too.
movie.
Yeah, we've
But
seen
I mean,
conservative outlet
you
movies
know,
before.
think
They're
about all
terrible.
of the faith-based movies that you've
I was
seen.
gonna say,
Which
I
are
ha-
you
normally
know, they're
terrible.
all terrible.
I have
There's nothing
ridiculed
good out there like
God's
that.
Not Dead relentlessly
Yes,
on this show,
yes.
and I will continue to because
Yes.
it's a terrible movie.
And normally, when you have something that's coming from a more conservative, even if I don't even know if the people who made the film are of that mindset or not, but when you hear that it's something like that, you automatically just think this
Well,
is probably going to be one that I'm going to be dogging the whole time.
Yeah.
And I think that plays that plays good into the fact that we were trying to, all 3 of us, watch the movie and be unbiased. Because I was ready to trash it. Like if it was bad, I was going to trash it. And
absolutely.
and I think we definitely saw moments in the movie that we would There's no way you shoot somebody laying on the ground that's in the 3rd floor of a building standing in the middle of the room. Like that's just physically
Yeah.
impossible.
Not
You
possible,
can't
yeah.
see them. So there's a lot of moments like that. I told Brandon, the guy with the shotgun doesn't ever reload his gun. He shoots 5-6 rounds from a double barrel shotgun. You have to reload in between every
Yeah.
shot, and he never does. She does.
we
Well,
don't
she gets-
see it,
But
I
I know.
wanna-
but I'm just saying
we
that's
don't
stuff
see
that
it.
I kind of
But
pay
I
attention
agree,
to, and
I
it's.
agree.
it's kind of weird, but being someone that knows a little bit about guns, like I can look at a gun and tell you just about how many rounds that handgun holds, or that, and it just seemed kind of endless. I never really even saw the guy with the automatic weapon reload, but I did think it was realistic that he was using an old whatever the German machine gun was.
MP4.
No, it's not an MP nothing because it's not American. But
know
yeah,
nothing about
that's a
guns.
gun that a lot of people have just because it's a collector's item, and you can get those. A lot of Americans brought them home from World War II that they took off of a Nazi, and they brought them home, and so people have that's like an heirloom kind of weapon. So there's no doubt in my mind he probably got it from his grandpa or something like that, or took it from someone's house. So, and then
Well, and there
when
were
they-
also. Oh, go ahead.
no, I was just going to say the beginning of the movie was very suspenseful. I felt like, because you see these explosions go off, barn fires and things like that happen around town, and it's starting to draw the fire department and the police to kind of see and investigate what's going on. We got to put out this huge fire. And I began to realize at the beginning, I kind of thought, well, these
are
guys
practicing.
are testing. Yeah, they're testing their bomb to see if they're efficient or not. And then, no, it's to cause a distraction, which is very, very intelligent. It's
Yeah.
very smart on
And
these kids' part.
I was gonna say
And
that, and like the other
was-
subplot with the mom. And I don't want
Oh,
to give
yes.
too much
Yeah, yeah,
away.
yeah.
There were so many different that was what made the movie ultimately good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that
Because
it does
it did provide an emotional connection. as
exactly.
well.
Yes.
It provided so much more depth than just, oh, this girl is in a school shooting, has a military father, she fights back. It could have been very vanilla that way.
Yes.
But the way in which it's layered, and they do make the actual, the antagonist and the protagonist layered.
Well,
I mean, even the kid that
Even Kip, her friend
Yes.
throughout the movie,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
even there were so many times throughout that movie I was like, oh man, he's gonna get
He's
it
gonna
right
get it.
here.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I was,
You
I was,
didn't- I didn't
I was
want it to.
terrified.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
I
like,
told
this poor
Brandon
kid.
at the end of the movie, I kept thinking that once she finally shows up into the cafeteria, I was thinking for sure the main villain was going to see an emotional connection and then use it against her. And it never happened, but I was, oh man, my heart was beating because I was waiting for that to happen. And I'm kind of glad that it didn't, because I didn't predict it. It was something different that happened, and I enjoy that anytime a movie surprises me.
Well, and even the story, because I will say they built it well. It was constructed well, as far as like you said, the tension and the suspense building up, and even like creating the story, like you said, with the bombs at the beginning. But even like, okay, the science class when she shows like the different
Yes.
gases and
Yep.
like,
Yep.
so
Yep.
that
That
was
plays in
nice,
later.
And
Yep.
I love that. I love when movies do that, when they can create a
Yeah.
narrative by introducing something early in the movie and then it pays off later on.
at the
Yeah.
end. Well,
And
and
this
even,
movie did
even
that
what
well
I
a
loved
few
about that
times.
was like it wasn't like something she had learned just that day.
No, it's
like
something she already
she had
knew.
known before, but you knew that was a way on which her thinking came back from older classes and older
Yes.
times in that
Yeah.
classroom. And it does. Again, the funny thing about it is too is, and I think why so many people we made a tweet this past week about the huge discrepancy in Rotten Tomato score, which is sitting around like 19-18%. I think it's even lower.
It
now.
was 14.
It
It's
was
right
14.
now 22%.
Oh, it
went
bumped
up.
up.
It got 2 more critic reviews and went up to
But
22.
what's that audience score?
It's
The
then?
audience is like
97.
97%. Yeah.
and
Which is very telling.
it's very telling because I think a lot of people are writing this off for. In fact, I actually listened to a podcast with the creator of the film, and he said we're expecting backlash. We know when it comes to critical reviews. He said what they'll do
The
is
subject
they'll.
matter alone was
He
gonna
said they'll
guarantee that.
actually
yeah.
taint the story and the scripting, and he said they'll find all these little ways to nitpick it just to give it a bad review, when really the underlying review is ultimately that you just want to discredit it because you don't agree with
Where it came from.
who's distributing it, and
And the
who
message,
made
yeah.
who made the film. And it's like, so basically the critics, you can see because of that huge discrepancy, there's no doubt.
I can see
no
this
doubt
movie.
people
I
holding
can
it.
see this movie that if it made it to theaters, I do believe it would be another The Hunt. It would be another movie that they would pull or delay or whatever, because they'll say it was, torture porn, or it was glorifying this or that, because it's not the message that they want to hear, and they would pull it. And so I'm
Every single review on Rotten. I read this. I didn't read every review, but I read they give you a little synopsis of each review on
Right,
Rotten
yeah,
Tomatoes.
yeah.
There's only 9, so I read each synopsis because I just was curious what these critics were saying, and every single one of them had the word tasteless in there, and
Tasteless.
that was
Yeah.
a note to tell me where their mindset was, because it was like
Yeah.
every single one of you said tasteless, and so all you did was go into this movie thinking this is about a school shooting. That's a terrible
Oh,
subject matter.
I bet you they
Yeah.
did something
Yeah.
worse. I bet you they didn't even watch
Some
the
of
movie.
them probably
Oh
did.
yeah, no.
I guarantee
They
Well,
just
you.
said-
we talked about how
Yeah, they copied
Google
and pasted.
Google had Rotten Tomatoes score at 14%
Well,
before the movie was ever even on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Keith looked it up, and it wasn't. It didn't
wouldn't
even
show it
exist
to
on their
you.
website.
couldn't find
So
it.
Google
Yeah.
was already showing it having a very poor score before the movie ever released, and
Which-
it wasn't
and
even
here's the
reviewed yet.
thing. Typically, critical reviews do come out before the movie.
Yeah.
But the fact that you couldn't even
You
find
couldn't find it on
Rotten
there.
Tomatoes,
Yeah.
you couldn't find the page, it was hidden.
Yeah.
And the fact that there were critical
It's, like,
reviews
kinda
from early
weird.
screenings.
Yeah, kind of weird.
That was weird. Yeah.
And all I'm saying is that there were, you can see in the trailer some of the highly, I would say, publicized movie, gossipy, or not even gossipy, but even the Hollywood Reporter, Variety, other bigger news sources for Hollywood have quotes on this film when it was released almost a year ago
the Venice Film
in Venice
Festival.
Film Festival,
Yeah.
and they rated it highly.
Yeah, they
Or
liked
they
it.
praised it
when it
And
was
it's
released
like,
in
but when
Venice.
it gets distributed
Yeah.
by a conservative news outlet, then all of a sudden it's like we're going to shoot it down.
Yep.
And so let me just say, look, you owe it to yourself to watch the movie.
Right.
We obviously enjoyed the film. 3 out of 4
I went
stars.
higher.
You actually, you gave
I
it
did
3.5.
give it 3.5, and I told Brandon the half star to me was ticked off because of the end of the film.
And I don't want to spoil nothing.
No, I'm not gonna. We're not gonna talk about it.
But I will say, I think that is actually, to me, here's the thing. Because my neighbor next door, Brian, he also said that he didn't like the ending.
You gave it the extra half star for the ending because
He
you
ticked
didn't-
off.
No,
He was
took
at
a
4.
I was at 4.
Wow,
I loved it.
I really don't think it's.
I
a
loved
I
it.
wasn't a
but
4
yeah.
at all.
Minus
Yeah.
the end and the couple of discrepancies with just physics.
I
I mean,
actually-
line of sight and things like that. I really thought if you wanted to make a movie feel realistic, then make it,
As realistic as
yeah,
possible.
right.
Don't-
Get
don't
some
lean-
people to come in and say, is this possible? Could this
probably,
really
they
happen?
probably couldn't.
Brian said a 17-year-old girl could not, her body couldn't go through all of this. I kind of disagree because when adrenaline's coming into
Yeah.
play, I've
Yeah.
seen mothers lift cars off their children because of adrenaline rushes, and I'm just saying that's I understand that. I'm saying
Hey, look,
yes,
look, if Ripley
she
could
could go
fight
through
aliens,
That's right.
then this girl can do what she
That's
did.
right.
I'm just
Get
saying.
away from her, you bitch.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Well, no,
But-
I
I don't
agree.
expect every movie.
But
to
I
be
mean,
also-
100%
hey, we're
realistic.
supposed to be supporting strong female leads and strong female characters. Here is one.
True.
Let's support it.
Well, I think you jokingly said there was a lot of woke in this film to
Well,
some degree.
it was kind of funny. There's a lot of
What-
woke
what
and a
would-
lot of joke. There's a
Yes.
lot of poking fun at both political.
It
aisles.
is very
I mean,
middle
it's
of the road.
very,
The big
it's
tech
very well
jab,
balanced.
When he's like, "Thank you, big tech industries, for allowing me to do this."
Yeah.
When he's sharing everything.
Yeah.
on the
But
internet.
again, I thought so much of that was realistic.
Yeah.
The story beats were realistic. Could the script have been polished? Absolutely. There
Yeah,
were
yeah.
conversations that were had by a lot of the characters that I thought, okay, that needed to be tightened up a little bit.
Yeah.
That didn't sound
And
very
then,
authentic.
And then again, story
Yeah.
beats, like we were saying, like some of the more like where are some of the adults and how come nobody hear this? Those things could have been
yeah, they could
covered more creatively.
Yeah.
Yes, they could have exactly. There could have been a better reason for those things.
But as
had
far
more
as
attention to
the
detail
far
been
as the
taken.
messages that the movie tried to deliver, I felt like they're
100%.
spot on. Yeah,
Absolutely.
even when she's got the one kid, the shotgun guy, I can't remember his name in the movie. When she's got him chained up and he's telling his sob story, you do feel sorry for him. He was picked on, he was bullied. I understand.
But then I
I've
love
been
her
there.
response.
I've been there. But
then,
for her
yeah.
to say the truth, so what happened to you? That does not at all merit the response that you're doing today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The punishment does not fit the crime. And I firmly, I don't care how bad you're bullied in school, it is never okay for you to do harm
yeah,
to
it-
someone
yeah,
else
yeah,
like
it-
that.
yeah.
I mean, at all. And I loved that she spoke the truth.
No
'Cause we
doubt.
you don't see that. Nowadays, they try to make you feel sorry for the bad guy. And
Well, and without
justify.
spoiling the end, I think the end is good because it's divisive to some degree between depending on what camp you're in. But it's like you may love it, you may hate it, you may be in the middle of both. But that's kind of why I like how the ending is done. I personally love the ending, but I'm going to leave that up to viewers who watch this film,
Sure,
and
yeah.
they can decipher that. But particularly, it kind of made me love the movie even more. Kind of like what you just said about how what you see in other movies is not necessarily what happens in this movie. And that is what I liked about it. It did, in all the right ways, subvert my expectations. And that's what kept me engaged. That's what kept me tuned in. And any movie that can do that from start to finish, That by definition is a good movie.
Amen. yeah.
Have to.
Yep.
Alrighty, guys, that's gonna do it for a review of Run, Hide, Fight.
Yeah.
I almost screwed it up there. Which actually I did notice. I think I forget what website I was looking at. They screwed up the name and they put Run, Fight, Hide.
Oh, really?
It was on like a trailer website, and I was like, I don't know if they did it intentionally or they just didn't pay much attention. But anyways, all right, we're gonna move on now to our headlines. Let's roll that wonderful footage.
Where are we going?
That's right, it's headlines. They better be.
Yes.
They're definitely entertained. They always are here on the Red Moon Podcast.
I hope so.
How can you not be?
I'm always entertained.
You are. Well, that's what we aim to do. We just aim to please you, Keith. That's
I hope
it.
not.
All right, guys, we got a
I'm
bevy.
hard to please.
That's not true.
That's very true.
Not true at all. I know you better than anybody. I know what pleases you. Alrighty, guys. We got a ton of movies that are coming out this year. That's right. Tons. Because
Tons.
last year, well,
I mean,
last
we got
year,
all of
nothing
last
came
year's
out.
movies and all of this year's movie.
yeah, we got a crap ton. Nothing came out.
I mean, we know
last year.
everything Warner Brothers is releasing is going to theaters and HBO Max. We know that there's been so many huge blockbusters postponed, a lot of big franchise title films like Ghostbusters, Mission Impossible, all the Marvel
Top
movies.
Gun.
Top
Top Gun.
Yes. So Jurassic World. Sorry, I had to throw it
Oh,
in
yeah.
there. I mean, it's a huge title. That doesn't mean it's going to be good. But there's a lot of movies, that got postponed and shoved to this year, and I am looking forward to a great many of them.
And they're all coming out on HBO Max. not
every
really.
single
I know.
Almost all of them. are
Almost
coming
every
out.
single one. A lot of, well, we know all of WB's slate is, obviously.
Yeah.
Yes.
But they got
But
a lot of movies coming
They
out
got
here.
some good
They
ones. I
do.
do want to see
It
Dune.
said like there was going to be
They
20,
did like a sizzle reel the other
20 or
day.
Yes.
25 or something
it's
like that. Movies
ridiculous.
that they're going to have.
And they did a little sizzle reel, and it was really cool because you got to see like footage of even some like Space Jam 2 had a little bit of footage in
Yeah.
there, and that
Yeah.
was awesome. I do
Nobody,
look forward to that.
we haven't
Yep.
seen anything from that.
No.
And so we're all looking forward
I'm
to
looking forward to
LeBron.
that. I'm looking forward to Dune. I'll watch The Matrix, but I'm not looking forward to it. I think
No.
it's going to tank.
Well,
but
we got to see
that's
what the
just my opinion.
Wachowskis do.
Yeah, we'll
That's
see.
right.
The Wachowski sisters.
I don't have faith that they can bring it back, but we'll see.
The sisters. See what the sisters can sprinkle on it. I'm just saying, it's going to be fun.
I'm just sitting here waiting.
I don't
I don't
even
know
know.
where he's
Wow.
going with this.
Sprinkles and
He's just going to sprinkle.
wow,
Sprinkle it.
fairy dust all over the
All I
place.
know is I saw the logo and it looks fine, but I'm just like,
It looks
I mean,
like the original. The
no, they said
yeah.
it was
it's
like
white.
new. That's what I'm saying. They were all like, "This is it's gonna change the way the Matrix looks and
What, they
everything."
use a
and I'm
different font?
like, well, and that's what I'm saying. I'm
No,
like,
it's like
no,
the
it
same
looks the
logo, but it's
same
white.
thing.
It's like
White?
instead of a green background, it's
it's
white.
just white.
Oh, because
It's
they're
like-
out of the Matrix now.
Well, no,
Well, no, because the Matrix
No.
got rebooted. Remember at the end
Yeah.
of the third one?
Oh,
They
that's
yeah.
true. Yeah.
It'll be updated.
They're,
to
but
modern
what do we got to worry
technology.
about? The machines and man are at peace now.
well, hopefully, what happens to the movie is like what happened to me tonight. It just like it doesn't show because you updated it and now it just crashes.
It just bricks.
Yeah.
Somebody bricked the Matrix.
But no, it's like everybody was going crazy about this font type, and I'm like, you can't tell anything about the movie.
Yeah.
All right, so here I'm gonna read through some. We got a big list here of movies that are coming
Read
out.
them to me,
Well,
bro.
here, I'll just I'll just bring
Let
this
me have 'em.
over.
Oh, there we
to-
go. I like
yeah,
that better.
Let's just do this.
Oh, that's
and
an old
then-
movie. SpongeBob's already come out.
Yeah.
It has. Well, sorry.
It was all right.
I'll
Oh, they're
bring
making another Cinderella adaptation.
I don't. What?
Wow.
Whitney Houston. Okay. I'm reading the movies, man. I'm
We
reading
got,
the
well,
movies.
these are. Oh yeah, Judas and the Black Messiah. That actually does.
That's getting Oscar
Yeah.
buzz.
And that actually looks.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I forgot because we're still in Oscar season.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's getting Oscar buzz. I do want to see
Because
Judas and the
Oscar
Black
season
Messiah.
ends in February now. Is that right?
February. The
February
February 28th or 9th.
28th.
28th.
It's
Yeah.
not a leap year.
Yeah, it's not. You're right. So yeah, February 28th is the deadline. So yeah,
All right, we got to all the
No.
boys. That's a Netflix.
to all the boys. Nope.
Always
Nope.
and Forever.
Not that one.
That's a sequel. I Care a Lot. I don't know what that one's about.
It's a Care Bear.
We
film.
already reviewed this.
Nomadland.
Nomadland.
That was
We
a good one.
reviewed.
I
We
liked that.
appreciated that one.
There actually is a movie coming out this year called No Man's Land.
There is.
So I did want to.
So I'm not.
You're not entirely
completely-
incorrect.
I don't know what the father is.
The father.
It looks good. It's getting Oscar buzz as
yeah,
well.
I like
'cause
Anthony
it's,
Hopkins.
It's Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, yeah.
Tom and Jerry. There
No,
you go. You're looking forward to that one.
Well,
Keith.
actually, I do like Tim's story, so I don't. But I just know.
What
Chloe
makes you
Grace
not want to?
Moretz.
I just don't trust it. I don't trust anything where they take old, like they've done this type of movie so many times where it's like, let's take an old anime and put it in a live action setting, and
Yeah.
Sonic actually pulled it off, but it's
Yeah.
been the only one so far. So
Okay.
We'll
Well,
see.
We'll
I
see.
don't
We'll
know.
see what happens.
we will.
We got Coming
I-
to America.
I do want to see it.
Yes.
Have you seen the trailer?
Absolutely.
The trailer actually did look funny.
And
I was
could
scared.
play this trailer right now.
I was scared. I was like, man, they're gonna butcher it like everything else. But Coming to America looks.
It's no. I
I'm
think that
excited.
one's going to be a fan favorite. I think a lot of people are looking forward
this
to
next
this
one's
one.
actually going to come to Disney Plus.
Oh, okay.
It's,
Raya and the Last Dragon. I haven't heard much
Oh, is
about
that no?
this
No.
one.
That may not be the Disney. Yeah, it is. Okay, it is D23. So that is the new Disney film, and it's supposed to premiere. I
Disney
think-
animation.
Yes, Disney
Okay,
animation,
so-
not
Yeah,
Pixar.
yeah.
Disney animation.
All right.
I'm actually looking forward to that.
What do you
Did
know
Disney
about
al-
it? Do you know anything about it?
Not particularly, but I do always give Disney a chance once. I always watch their movies at least once to give it a chance. So
Well, and let's.
They're,
I mean,
they're hit or miss.
they're hit or miss, but they've
Frozen
had a,
was good.
they've
Moana
had a
was good.
well,
string-
it's got Aquafina's I think the lead voice, and I do like her. I've seen her in a few things that I
I
just
want
like,
to say
she's-
that
she's
almost
funny.
every single film that has come out from Disney Animations has been a solid movie.
Yeah.
for the last couple of years. Yeah,
I
they
don't
have
think
several
they-
years since
Well,
Tangled. Really, yeah.
all of their computer animated.
Yes.
Since
Yeah.
they switched to CG.
Mhm. That's what I'm saying. Well, since Tangled.
Tangled.
Yeah.
Was, yeah.
They had a few because, like, I mean, Chicken Little was good, but it wasn't. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
But since since Tangled, they've done a really good job. Yeah.
All right, we got another big
Oh,
one
yeah,
coming
I'm
up
ready
here.
for that one.
Yes.
This one,
This one has
Kingsman.
been postponed. For a
Oh
while
man,
now.
this one and after the second one too. The second one disappointed me. It was kind of more of the same.
Yep.
And I've been waiting for them to get this series back.
I
on
don't trust
track.
that this next one's going to be a great movie, but I'm going to love it just the same.
I think it's going to be more action, more fun.
and that's okay. That's what
fine
I want
with
to
that.
see.
It-
Godzilla versus Kong.
we know
This
that
is
one's
one that's coming to HBO Max.
Yep.
And then we got, of course, No Time to Die.
We don't know for sure how it's going to be released since MGM's trying to sell themselves off.
No,
so
it's coming out in theaters.
I'm sure it will.
And I'm
but-
sure this is probably going to be what everybody is pushing to come out at the time when theaters are
Well,
really
with
kind
the
of.
April
yeah.
release date. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
they're hoping maybe this will help.
This is really going to
boost theaters
jumpstart
back up.
Yeah, especially hopefully if we
Peter
have
Rabbit
the
Now this
2.
one right here,
woo Oscar buzz for
that's
next year.
best film of the year.
Oh yes,
I do want to see this.
Mortal
Mortal
Kombat,
Kombat.
man. Oh, the original's such a classic,
It
Yeah.
is,
and
but
I just
mean,
love the original.
I want to see what they do with this. As they're supposed, it's supposed to be like grittier and bloodier, which is what you want for Mortal Kombat.
I want to see them finish him. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I want
yeah.
to see some finish.
You
And
want
I
to see some
actually- I like-
fatalities?
That's
I've read
right.
what the story's about, and I really like it because it's supposed to kind of start off with like the old blood feud between Sub-Zero's clan and Scorpion's clan, and then jump.
Oh,
to
they're
like-
going back.
Yeah, they're going back and
Back in
starting
the
kind
day.
of with that, and then jumping forward to when they finally have their powers. And I'm like, this is kind of an
Man,
interesting
another
way to take that.
post-apocalyptic movie. Can we?
Is
I'm
that-
kind of done with
What, are you
post-apocalyptic.
talking about the BIOS?
Yeah, BIOS.
Well, then it's funny you
Well,
say
it's
that,
Tom
and then A Quiet
Hanks.
Place 2's right underneath
There's
it.
nothing
I
wrong with
know.
a Quiet Place too, though.
And we're all looking forward to
no,
that
that's a
one.
horror movie,
Here's-
basically.
but it's still
so-
post-apocalyptic.
I get that. That's fine.
I actually
but
do love post-apocalyptic stories, but they have to be really well done because you do get a ton of generic
there's
ones.
just a ton of them, man.
Yeah.
There are. I mean, let's think about it. I mean, literally since the early 2000s, we've had
You-
it really could be its own genre.
You want to know what
Yeah.
the OG post-apocalyptic story was?
I Am Legend.
The Stand.
The Stand. We're gonna talk about
we're
that
gonna
We're gonna
later.
be talking about
We're gonna
that,
get to
the
that.
remake. But no, we've still got a bevy of movies coming out.
Last Night in Soho.
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 Yeah, sorry, my bad.
You
but
Soho.
anyways, Edgar Wright.
Soho.
Who doesn't love Edgar Wright? I love Edgar Wright.
Here, I can hold on.
That's
There we go. Oh,
Scott
yeah.
Pilgrim and then
Baby Driver. Isn't Baby Driver?
Yeah,
yeah,
he
yeah,
did.
he did.
Yeah.
He did do
Heck
Baby
yeah,
Driver,
man,
but he did
that's-
Scott
oh.
Pilgrim. He did the
No,
Shaun
I'm-
of the Dead. I mean,
I'm
Edgar
Oh,
Wright
I
did-
love
no.
Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, Edgar Wright's great.
I'm
I love
looking.
Edgar
No,
Wright.
that's
so I
now.
do
I
look
need to
forward to
check
Last
that
Night
one
in
out.
Soho. Yeah.
There's no trailer
Anya
yet.
Taylor-Joy.
Oh heck yeah.
Yeah. it's
Well,
gonna be
I'm in
great.
now. Yeah.
Edgar
care
Wright,
if it's a
Anya
good movie.
Taylor-Joy. That's all you need to know.
Really, truthfully, it is. All right,
Ron's
then-
Gone Wrong. Don't know what that is.
I don't know what Ron's Gone Wrong is.
Black Widow.
Here we
Yeah,
go.
here we
Black
go.
Widow getting into the bigger blockbusters of the summer here. We've got Free Guy. This
I'm
is-
looking
yeah,
forward to that.
I've been waiting for this because it was supposed to come out last. I've been waiting a while for this one.
Yes.
I want
and
to
that's
see
a
it.
Disney movie, isn't it?
It's
Mm.
it's owned by Disney, but
It-
it's not released as a Disney movie.
Oh,
It was
okay.
originally Fox, and so
Oh, yeah.
Ryan
okay.
Reynolds has been playing up the joke that it's like it's a Disney.
It's a
movie.
Disney movie. Yeah. Maybe I've just been listening to
This
him
one,
too much.
We've kind of heard quiet things about.
I do
We've-
want to see it.
we
The
wanna
Saw
see it,
franchise
yeah.
is one that got ran into the ground, but Chris Rock, Samuel L. Jackson, it sounds very interesting. I do kind of want to see
And
where
I
they
think
take
they're
it.
doing more than just starring. I believe Chris
No,
Rock
yeah.
is producing.
They're producing, and I think he co-wrote it. So
So I'm looking
yeah.
forward to them bringing that its series back. Putting it back.
I don't
on the
care
map.
about this
Cruella.
one. Cruella.
Emma Stone.
Anything
yeah.
Disney does that's live action, I don't give a crap about.
Not anymore.
It's like their animated stuff. Yes, their live action
to me,
stuff.
they've ruined it. They've given me no
You know
reason.
what? I'm sorry.
Oh, hell
Cruella
yeah.
cannot
Oh,
touch
no.
Glenn Close as the live action Cruella DeVille. 101
True.
Dalmatians. Glenn
True.
Close. Nope.
That
can't
was
work.
good.
Can't do it.
Well, and we know it's because she put those carrots in her mouth.
If Emma Stone shoves a whole bag of carrots in her mouth, I want
I
to see
bet
her
she
do
could.
it. I want to see her do it.
Now I want to see it.
Yeah.
I want to see her prove it. Of course, we're looking forward to F9. I mean, come on, John Cena. Look at this.
It's gonna be
Look at
terrible.
this. Look at this
I know,
screenshot.
it's gonna be
This
terrible,
is
but it's gonna be
fantastic.
great.
I
It's
know
gonna be
it.
wonderful.
I mean, we're all looking forward to just the jam-packed action. Conjuring.
Conjuring.
I like the
They-
Conjuring.
Now that one
series.
I think that one is coming out on HBO Max. That one's dropping. That's a
Yes,
WB
it
property.
is. Mhm.
Oh, there, right there. Releases HBO Max.
Yep, I'll watch it.
So that
I
one's
like
coming
the
out in
first two.
June. Vivo. I've not heard anything about this. I don't know.
Hot
about
on the heels.
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters
Yes.
Afterlife.
There
There
we
we
go.
go.
That actually, it's funny that this is coming out in June, but it was scheduled for August originally of last year, I believe. So it's still keeping the whole summer blockbuster month.
Yeah.
Or no, it was formerly March. No, okay, so they moved it up from March of this year to June, so they're putting it back in the summer months.
yeah.
But and maybe they're hoping for another theater.
Well, I think it was supposed to come out last year, though. So I don't know. I'm
No, it
confused.
was,
yeah.
but I think it was supposed to come out in the
I want to see
summertime.
what this John Chu is. That the sequel to Crazy Rich Asians? No, it's not.
in the Heights.
I just saw Crazy Rich Asians, which I did like.
No,
I do
in the
want to see
Heights
the sequel.
though, it is the
I
one
know it
that's
in
the
the
musical.
Heights. Well, it's based on a play, but I don't.
Yeah.
Lin-Manuel Miranda. That's, I think I.
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah, I didn't want to butcher his name, but I did anyway.
But that one's that movie. That's why I kind of skipped over it. I mean,
Yeah.
it
I
looks
just-
okay. It looks entertaining.
I don't know.
I may catch it.
it.
Venom, I'm not looking forward to.
Yeah, I do want to see Woody Harrelson as Carnage. He
that-
could
Yeah.
be great, but I just don't trust the people making it.
That's the problem.
Granted, it's being directed by Andy Serkis, so maybe. But he did make the Jungle Book for Netflix, and that was
Yes,
terrible.
that was bad.
and I'm not exactly. And I mean, he's
Mowgli.
proven.
He did Mowgli.
It was called Mowgli. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a Jungle Book. I don't think that one was like a tie-in, was it?
It's not Disney. It's just
It's just Mowgli. It's
Yeah,
Disney
yeah.
does not own the Jungle Book brand, and anybody
I
can make a
know.
movie about it.
But that's
It's
what
a
I'm
book.
saying is most people probably would have watched it thinking it was
John Favreau's
I
movie
think
was
that's
way better.
Yes.
Yes.
I think that's why he titled it Mowgli, because he didn't want people to think it was based
even
on
though
the Disney
everybody
version.
did.
It's
After that,
yeah.
everybody still thought it was
it's
a
terrible.
tie-in.
It's terrible.
But I'm not looking forward to. Definitely not looking forward to Venom. We got Minions, The Rise of Gru. Of course, they're just
Zola.
beating that, continuing to beat that into the ground.
that's all
Illumination's got.
It's like no.
Looks like a friend of
no.
ours.
Top Gun.
Top Gun
There it
Maverick,
is.
yeah.
This is the one I was a little bit. Or no, okay, it is coming out in the summer. There's another
It was
movie
supposed
that's
to
coming
come out. Well, it was supposed to come out during December of 2020. And
right.
Now they pushed it
But
to July,
the fact that
so-
Mission Impossible, which we're about to run into on this list too, is that's coming out in like November.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was actually
here's the thing.
surprised. Are they doing Oscar buzz for that?
No, but I don't
Why
think
is
they
it
wanted.
coming out
I don't
so
think
late?
they wanted to put it right next to Top Gun. It's
To
like two Tom
compete to
Cruise.
Tom
But
Cruise,
here's the
yeah.
thing. I'm glad they stuck with. Top Gun should be in July. I'm sorry.
It should be a summer
I
movie. It
yeah,
should be.
July 2nd. Like, how do you celebrate 4th of July? Go see Top Gun.
Yes.
I'm very happy it's now in
Oh
July.
no, that is absolutely.
The Forever Purge, another Purge movie.
It probably is.
Well, it's the Forever Purge because they're going on forever.
Yeah.
So
well, I was gonna say it's not gonna end
I do
anytime
want to
soon.
see Shang-Chi. That's the next Marvel
The
film.
Legend of the Ten Rings.
Supposed to be bringing in the real Mandarin finally. I'm excited about that. So
Yeah,
we'll
because
see
we
how it
know Ben
goes.
Kingsley. That was
Yeah.
just absolutely awful.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
whole story and plot. Iron Man.
And then
3
the
is
next one I
terrible.
want to see too.
Of course,
Space
Spaceman, Space Jam 2.
Yeah, Spaceman too.
Spaceman 2.
Ooh, I did not know this was coming
Uncharted,
I'm-
baby.
I'm skeptical about this for two reasons. One, I mean, it's
out. We've not seen anything about it.
yeah. I'm just okay.
I don't want. I don't
I don't want
want
young-
him as a kid.
Yes.
I don't either.
Like
Who
here's
cares?
God, nobody fell in
No,
love with the kid in the
nobody.
game. We fell in love with
after
freaking.
seeing The Devil All the Time, do I think Tom Holland could pull it off?
Oh,
yeah, I
yeah.
think he can,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
don't want to see it right. I do want to see The Green Knight. Sorry, I've been looking forward
I'm
to this.
not going to go past them.
This
I'm not
is
going to
the
go
one I have
past
to say.
them.
This is based on an Arthurian legend. It's an old poem. J.R.R. Tolkien actually did a translation of this poem, and it's one I like, and I do really want to see.
Joel
See
Edgerton,
this. So,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so the Green Knight. That's one
Patel.
we're looking forward to. I'm halfway.
I'll watch it. I don't know. Again,
I-
Disney live
It's The
action
Rock.
It's
I'm
The
gonna
Rock,
watch
man.
it.
I mean,
and Emily Blunt. I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
it's like I can't complain about either one of those. I'm looking forward to that.
Hotel Transylvania 4.
Oh, here we go.
Oh my God, we're already on a fourth one.
Yes.
I must have missed the third one.
That's the one where they're on
It's
the cruise
okay.
ship.
You can get rid of
Oh
them.
no,
You don't
I've
have to
seen
watch
that.
them.
Yeah, I've seen that.
But this one right here, Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
I actually,
Remake James Gunn.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to this one.
Yeah, reboot. It's not really because it doesn't replace the original, but
Right.
I guess.
Yeah.
To me, it should.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Deep water.
Ben Affleck. Uh-oh.
Oh, well, we definitely.
And
Anna
Anna
De
De
Armas.
Armas, she just dumped him.
That'll
That's
be fun.
hilarious.
You think they're going to do the press junket for that film together?
Ben just needs to like go away for a
He
little
needs to
while.
grow up. is
Yes,
what he needs
I
to do.
agree.
Oh,
Jesus.
Candyman.
I do
Yeah.
want to see that.
Yep.
This is another big one that I'm looking
that
forward
one's,
to.
I believe that's produced by. I know he didn't write or direct it, but I believe Jordan Peele's producing this one.
Ooh, then I'm definitely in. I'm definitely in.
It's
Nia
a-
DaCosta directed it, but he's just
it's
producing.
Blumhouse, isn't it?
It has to be. I'm
pretty sure.
assuming. It doesn't say. It just says, it doesn't
I
have.
thought Candyman was going to be.
Oh, the Beatles Get Back. Yes, Peter
I do wanna
Jackson's
see that,
documentary.
The documentary.
It's actually, there's a teaser on Disney Plus if you haven't watched
love
it.
Peter
watch it.
Jackson, love the Beatles.
Skip
I'll watch
Jackass.
that.
Oh,
Yeah,
here we
Jackass
go.
4?
Are we
Boss
on?
Baby.
Oh, September. Okay.
First one was
Yeah,
terrible.
the family business.
I don't like the Boss Baby. I don't.
No.
Well, I don't like Alec Baldwin.
I'm not looking forward to this either.
Definitely
Death on the
not.
Nile.
Kenneth Branagh. No.
It's sequel to.
I'll look forward to
Murder
Gal
on the Orient
Gadot.
Express, yes.
You know, yeah, but
I like Agatha Christie, but for like her books just don't adapt well to film.
well, because they're novels that are just to me they're okay. No,
they
offense.
were original for their time. But
They were original
Yeah.
for their time, but they're novels that they're for high schoolers.
Yes.
Go read them.
Yeah.
You can get into a mystery. To me, they're not something that are so sophisticated that
They're
you're
not
like,
long.
Huh?
I mean,
wow,
they're really short books.
She really tricked me there, and I just thought
Yeah.
they're just.
I like the character of Hercule Poirot, but I don't know.
He's like he's trying to be.
He's the French Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
But I mean, he is a recurring character in Agatha Christie novels. So
the Many Saints of Newark, Dune. Here we go.
I do want to see
Yep.
Dune.
We're getting
Another
into the later
HBO
part of
movie.
this is all the Oscar
Dennis
baits.
Villeneuve.
Mhm.
I really want to see it.
This is the one that's said to be better than, or supposedly put Dune on the map than the
It was supposed to be
original.
actually based off the novel.
yeah, the
Whereas
original
the original was yeah.
it was meh.
Meh.
Morbius.
This is
That's-
one I
that's-
don't know about.
That's gonna be meh.
Look at that! Look at that!
Look,
I love that.
It's
It
Sony.
looks like Avatar.
This is Sony trying to create their Spider Verse. I mean, they've even hinted at look, multiverse ideas because
Yeah.
it showed Michael Keaton popped up in the trailer, so people are like, is the Vulture in it now? And it's Sony still, so I don't trust
it's
it.
Jared Leto.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the biggest problem right
I don't
there.
really care for the title of this,
Here
but I'm excited
we
for
go.
it.
Oh, I'm
Halloween
Super,
Kills.
I'm super happy.
I mean, it's okay. It just
I just like that it's Halloween. Halloween kills. Halloween
it makes
ends.
me think of an 80s slasher flick, which I mean, to be
but
fair,
that's
Yeah.
supposed to be the whole
Halloween
essence
Kills.
of it.
Hey, Halloween started in the 70s, not the 80s.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is
I
it's
get it,
supposed to
though.
be. It's what started the slasher fix. It's kind of going. The original or the remake
I'm not
original.
gonna knock them. I love the new one, and I do want to see this.
I do too, and I'm just like I think they're doing the right thing here. I'm just saying, Halloween Kills is something I'm very much looking forward to.
Ridley Scott, The Last
Duel.
Duel.
I'm telling you, man.
Ben Affleck.
It's got
I don't know
Matt
what he's
Damon in
doing
it. It's got
anymore.
Ben
Matt
Affleck and
Damon.
Matt
That's
Damon.
crazy.
And Adam Driver.
Look,
Wow.
look, it's Ben Affleck and Matt Damon.
Nobody
reuniting.
cares
No one cares about Adam
about
Driver, even though he's a
any of
better
those
actor
two.
than both of them.
I'm telling you right now, man. They are on.
That doesn't even give us a hint of what it's about, though.
It's been 2 years since Ridley Scott.
Snake Eyes.
It's a GI Joe movie. No one
Oh,
cares.
God.
Actually, Baz Luhrmann. This has been highly
Elvis
in
film.
development for quite a while.
Yes.
And that is the untitled Elvis film.
Baz Luhrmann can do really well, and he can also do garbage.
Yep.
So I don't know.
And of course, one of the
Eternals.
bigger ones that are coming out from
By
Marvel.
the director of Nomadland, Chloe Zhao. I am
And-
looking forward to Eternals.
Of course, down here,
Mission
There it is.
Impossible.
Mission Impossible 7. 7. My
Mhm.
gosh, I can't believe there's 7 of those.
There's
But I am
9
looking
Fast
forward
and
to-
the Furious movies.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know, but still.
and this has been around longer.
And they
much
actually
longer.
are better to some degree.
Oh, the Mission Impossible is definitely better.
Well,
than-
I would say they're better in terms of class. I don't know if they're better in terms of, action.
I would say
Sometimes
I
Fast
don't-
and Furious is just amazing.
it's over the
Yeah,
top, but
Fast
Mission
and
Impossible
Furious,
actually has decent
they're
story.
entertaining,
and,
yeah.
And then, of
West
course,
Side
we're getting
Story.
into West Side Story.
I
and
just
then
don't care about that a whole
Spider-Man,
lot either. I don't see why you need to remake West Side Story,
Matrix
And of
4.
course, The Matrix 4.
Lana Wachowski.
but the Wachowski sisters,
Wachowski.
yeah.
The Wachowski sisters.
Oh, where'd it go?
It's gone. That was it.
That's
Spider-Man
the
4
end,
comes
yeah.
out this year too,
Yeah.
or 3? Not 4. It's
So
3.
does Sherlock Holmes 3.
I don't believe that. They haven't even filmed it. How
I
is it
know.
coming out this year?
They're saying it's coming out.
It ain't coming
don't
out
think
this
it's-
year.
It's like supposed to be expected.
I just didn't realize because that's 4 Marvel movies
Yep.
in 1 year. That's crazy.
that would be insane. Which who knows?
Because Black
they've
Widow,
got.
Shang-Chi, Eternals, and Spider-Man 3. Yeah, wow.
I mean, they've got the
See, I
ability
thought
to.
that was
Marvel
2022.
Studios is huge.
Oh, they
but-
can definitely.
And who knows? Maybe it will end up being put back then. But
Yeah, it might get pushed back.
it probably will be. I think so. All right, guys. I think we're ready to move on to our multimedia segment because that is a little bit of what's coming out.
Multimedia.
We're looking forward to a lot of those movies. You tell us in the comments section what you're looking forward to. We just wanted to give you a little refresh on everything that's coming out this year that's been pushed back. Oh, he's happy.
Yeah.
He doesn't do his Kong dance.
I'm reading the note that one of you put in here
Yeah.
for multimedia.
What did he?
I did it. He can't say it. He can't say it on.
He
on
always
air.
goes
Say it.
behind my back and edits it, and
Edits
I
it,
never
yeah.
see it till later. And it's
Yeah.
usually something crass.
He can't. Yeah, he can't repeat it on air.
You see?
Sorry
It's
to
so
tease
wrong.
it for you
It's
all.
always rated X.
It really.
TVMA is what
It's,
it is.
it's what we do best.
Yeah.
This show would be 10 times
Facebook
better.
MA.
This show would be 10 times better if they could see what we do behind the camera.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be able to air it anymore.
Right.
Someday.
We'd be banned.
Well, all right, let's move on then to our multimedia segment.
Multimedia.
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 Yeah.
Mm.
It's media that's multi.
That's true.
Multitask.
And you know better than anybody, Keith.
Multipass.
So, as we did with our last multimedia segment, we're going to do again. And
Talking about The Stand.
We're continuing. And I mean, it's not going to be The Stand. We're talking about, once we wrap The Stand up, we'll get into WandaVision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But right now,
And here's the thing, it's not always going to be a series.
it's not. But
No.
there's just a lot of really major ones coming out this
Yeah.
year, so we thought, why not tackle them? The Stand being a big one, especially one
And
that
I think where we
we've all
left
been
off
fond
last
of.
time was just episode 1 had just come
Yeah,
out.
we'd only
Yeah.
reviewed the first one,
and
so
we
now we're up to
said
5.
that it was intriguing, but we were kind of looking for more.
I was a little disappointed, but I thought I would give it more. I want to see more because it might go a different direction, and I felt like it hasn't. So
well, and that's what we're going to get into because Sean, I think, thinks differently.
Well, I agree with a lot of the things that you've presented about the show. I
You
like
still
it.
like it.
I don't
That's
love
fine.
it. I don't
And
love
there's
it.
nothing wrong
But I
with
like
that.
it. I think it's captivating. I think there's interest. I think there's a lot of things that I haven't seen before in the original TV miniseries. I never read the book, so I feel like I'm getting something that I missed when I read the book. Maybe if there's some things in there because
there is
there
things
are a
that
lot of
they've
things that
included.
you say that they've included, and I'm like, oh, cool, because I never read that.
Right.
So, as far as some of the directions that it has gone, especially in the way that it's edited, as far as like how it jumps around, I can completely agree with you all that I don't appreciate it. I would rather a little bit more straightforward approach to the storytelling.
Yeah.
But so far, it's not something that I'm gonna tear apart or bash. I actually enjoy it.
Well, I will.
I know. I know you will.
Well, now here's the thing too. So all of us have seen the original miniseries.
Mm-hmm.
Keith has been the only one of us that has read the book.
Both
and
versions
now we're
of the book.
both versions, the original and uncut. Which the uncut has like a ridiculous.
The original's
amount.
like 800 something pages. The uncut version's like is 1100 pages. So
and
yeah.
apparently it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it to have the uncut.
for the most
material.
part, there's one or two minor scenes that I'm like, you didn't really have to put that back in. But yes, there's a lot of material that I felt really fleshed out. The story and
honestly,
adds
that's
new
half
details.
of me watching this series is me texting Keith, being like,
Oh, he does.
"Did
Does
this
this
happen
happen?
in the
Yeah.
book?"
And,
Yeah.
and
the
to be
reason-
fair,
the reason-
a lot of it does.
Okay, and that's the reason why I text you is because I want to know where liberties are taken,
Mm-hmm.
and based off seeing the original, just like with Lord of the Rings, it was like only because I did a deep dive into the special features, I knew what was adapted from the book directly versus some things they changed, but fans were still happy with. So it's not that there's not times where things can change from the book
Yeah.
that aren't justified
Well,
or reasons for
absolutely.
happening.
You have to sometimes going from a written medium to a
Visual, yeah.
medium. You do have to change things.
Exactly.
And for me, it's not so much those changes or even things that they've put in that in this new series that were in the book, because I do appreciate the fact that they are trying to add the things from the book. For me, I felt like the disjointed narrative, the way it jumps, didn't allow me to get an appreciation or a feel for any of these characters. I know who they are from reading the book and seeing the original, but when I watch this new series, it jumps back and forth so much that will get them in the future, and then things will happen to them that you're supposed to be like, oh, I'm supposed to care that this is happening to them,
Yep.
but because I don't have their backstory, I don't give a crap.
Agreed.
And that upsets me because it's like I really want more. I really want to be emotionally connected to them because I was with the original novel and with the original series.
And that's I think, and that's the hardest part for me is I made the original criticism on our first multimedia segment discussing this, that for me it felt like it was disjointed because it was somewhat it was trying to bring in people who had read the book and people who had seen the original and also try to do its own thing, but it was a jumbled mess. And that's why I said, well, I'm intrigued to see what they do, thinking maybe they'll layer it in with more character development down the road. The jumping back and forth between prior to them getting to this one major city, and again, I don't want to spoil it for anybody who's not, watched it or is in the middle of watching it. They don't do a lot of justification for why they get to this one place other than dreams. We know dreams play a big part, but other than like them kind of becoming comforted by why they followed their dreams or even what messages they're receiving in their dreams other than just seeing a person or hearing, I think we only saw literally 1 or 2 Mother Abigail dreams.
Right.
And I'm just like, there were so many times in the original where I felt like each of these characters had an established relationship with Mother Abigail before they even
get to
got
her.
there.
Yeah.
And in this, it's like they just show up or because they cut to it right in the middle of, they've been there a while. We don't see any of that interaction.
Yeah.
And it's just all filler with like, well, now we just have to find a way to keep the plot moving.
Yeah.
And so everything that happens between the characters is just because, well, we got to have another place to go for the plot.
In regards, and I will say, to give it a bit of praise, I do think there's a few cast members I don't care for, but most of the cast, like especially Harold, I think he's perfect.
Oh,
He's
yes.
great.
He's
He's
my
spot
favorite.
on,
fantastic.
yeah.
He's my favorite.
And even though I feel like it's the fault of like the story for not giving him more of them, I do think most of the cast members. I like the guy playing Larry Underwood. I like James Marsden as Stu Redman, even though I want more from them, and that's what it is because I do like.
Yeah.
I feel like they fit the characters, but I want more from them. But there are 2 people, actually 3, but 2 of them are very major, whose casting I was excited about because they're phenomenal actors, and I feel like they have not delivered at all in this. And that is Whoopi Goldberg as Mother Abigail.
Awful.
I feel like she's been terrible.
Yes.
One thing about the original series and the book I love is you feel her conviction. This is a woman who believes in God. Every time Whoopi Goldberg talks about her faith and what's going on, she's just like,
Very lukewarm.
and I'm just like, it's like,
It's in every delivery she has.
Yeah.
well,
I don't feel that the new series has as much of a connection
Religiously.
between
Yes.
God and Satan
Yeah.
as much as
It's like
it
they
just
kinda
is good and evil.
They kind of shunt
Yeah,
it.
they
It's like they don't
they're
wanna
playing
touch
it too safe,
Yes,
and
it's-
I don't appreciate
I
that.
agree. It's like
Yeah.
they don't want to like play that angle up a lot. And there's one line in the book and the original series I love. I talked to Brandon about this, where Nick Andros, in one of his dreams when he's able to speak, he tells Mother Abigail, "I don't believe in God," and she says, "That's okay.
He believes
God
in
believes
you."
in you," because it's a statement of saying it doesn't matter. God can work His will through anybody,
Right.
basically. And her delivery in this new version,
yes.
where she's just like, "He believes in you," like she
Well,
like sure you're giving.
They
it
actually
don't
play
matter.
it
He
off
believes
like
in
it's just
you.
a pass by moment.
Yeah.
He says it and then it just. But that's how it's always been with all their interactions with her. Every interaction that the characters have with Mother Abigail whether the 2 or 3
It's like she
dreams
just
that you
showed up
see,
for a paycheck. She's
she
like, "I'm just
really
here to do
does.
this."
She uses it as a name to sell the show,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like she's not in it. She's hardly in it. There was one
her
decent
face
scene.
is all over all of the online marketing.
Yeah, but
And
she's
she's
had
hardly-
literally like 3 scenes.
Yeah.
And in the 5 episodes that we've seen.
Well, when the first set of major characters get to go see her, they show up in this town, and then we don't even. They just say she's in the back room.
She's in the house, yeah.
And then you see them maybe go back there, and then they don't have any interaction.
Yeah.
So we don't. I mean,
Well, no, see, I don't like that. I will say, when they get to the town in the new series, there's already a lot of people there. It's already established. And in the original miniseries, when they get there, they approach her, and it's like you said, they already feel like they know her and have a relationship with her.
Yes.
They walk up to her and they hug her because it's like, you're real. You're actually
Yeah.
here. And they have that emotional bond with her before they even get there. And yeah, in this series, they do show up to the town. Everybody's already there. There's already a lot of people there, and they've already got security guards set up for her and everything. And they're just like, well, if she has time, she'll see you. If you know, and I was like, she's not a prophet. She's not a she's not someone that's set back in the back. The original Mother Abigail,
She
and
sat out on the porch and greeted everyone.
I
Yes.
can't
She
speak for the
wanted to
book,
see
but she
everybody.
wanted to see everybody.
Yep.
And that's Mother Abigail sucks in this series.
Now
the lack of God sucks in this series.
The other character that I'm mentioning that I've been disappointed in has been Stellan Skarsgård's Randall Flagg, because I feel like he's not charismatic. I'm like, I don't understand why all these people are flocking to him, whereas in the books and not even in The Stand, because Flagg's a recurring character for King and other, but he's a major villain in the Dark Tower series. He's a very charismatic character who makes you believe that he can solve everything and give you the world on a platter, even though really he can't. He is limited in what he can do, but you believe that if I follow him, I can be like a god. And I don't get that from Stellan Skarsgård's performance.
No.
He has this weird whisper thing that he does that I'm like, why is he like? He's like,
well, and
I
a lot
don't
of
know.
it's like a lot of the motivations of the characters are just there because they have to be. And I feel like so much of what drives these characters to do what they do are just because it's written in the book, not because I actually see them acting and performing in this way. And it's like, I've also like, I don't have necessarily any problem with most of who the characters are, the casting of the characters.
I don't
just
like,
have a problem with
I don't
that.
like Nick Andros.
I don't like
I
him.
don't-
True,
But
I
see,
don't.
there's one that
major
I'll
and important character. in
disagree
Yeah.
with both of you on is I really thought that Tom Cullen, in the first episode that they introduced them, him and Nick and the crazy chick in the furniture
Julie,
store
yeah,
and all that
Julie.
stuff, like in the
Oh
department
no, they introduced
store.
him before that. He runs into him in the hospital.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
And,
right. That's
yeah.
right. That in that episode when he keeps going laws,
Yeah.
It was
laws,
bad.
no, and I'm like, you're taking one word that the guy uses maybe 3 times in the miniseries, and you're putting 20 of them
Way
in one
too
sentence.
many.
Yeah, it was.
It was way too overdone.
He got
but
better.
then the next episode that he was in, I was more convinced. Okay, this is the gentle giant, and
I agree.
this
He did
is
get
the
better.
Yes,
yeah,
he did.
and even in this last episode that I watched, episode 5, I really felt like the job role that he falls into in the New Vegas and all of that is kind of fitting. That's probably where they would put someone like him, cleaning up the gladiator arena and all that kind of stuff. And his moment in the tunnel with the other spy that they send in there, the woman.
Dana.
Yeah, Dana. I thought that was
She was
a
another one that
good.
disappointed me because she's
Yeah, but
such
she
a
is
cool
disappointing.
Character.
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
a cool character.
And in the original, she was. Yeah,
in the
was good,
series,
yeah.
And
But
Yeah.
well, and it's
The
like
book.
and
even
Lloyd
Tom,
is terrible too.
I
Lloyd's
hate
awful.
Lloyd is one of my favorite characters from the original series and the novel, and I hate him in this.
He's god awful.
Yep.
He's absolutely he's like a little rat that
I
and
love-
you don't hate him for the
Right
you hate him for the
reasons.
character, but you hate him because of his bad acting. He's
Yeah.
terrible. He's awful. He does not do
It makes me
justice to him.
terrified of what we're gonna get with Trash Can because
Man.
it's Ezra Miller, and I'm
and I
like,
can't
"Ah."
understand.
Oh.
I was telling Brandon, and now you're making it even worse for me because you're telling me there's only 9 episodes, and I was thinking we're like halfway through it. There's 5 more that they can
And there's only 4
introduce
more.
him. There's only 4 more. They haven't even introduced him yet,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just like, in the original, he's a pivotal character throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
You're seeing the path of destruction that he's
His
doing.
journey on the way
Right,
to Flag.
right.
Yeah.
And for
But
us
that's
to
how I
not
feel about the entire cast. I feel like you see so much overarching things in the original where how they end up getting to where they're at.
Yeah.
I just feel like that so much of that exists in the original and not in this miniseries, and
Yeah.
it's so disappointing.
It is lacking. It's just not
I'm gonna
enough
keep
for me to
watching
quit watching
it. I do want to see how it ends, and I know Stephen King himself did write an original epilogue for this series because he was always kind of a little dissatisfied with like how it wrapped up. So
So
wanted
that will
to
be
give it a-
his-
So I do want to see how this new epilogue works, but I don't know with the way the rest of the series is.
And that was the
how-
one thing
how
I
it
hated
happened.
about the original. The only thing I hated about the original was the epilogue. I just thought it was cheesy and not well done with the.
And well, Stephen
it was
King,
just wrapped up really quickly.
King hated
I
it
just
too.
didn't
That's
like
why
it.
he wrote
Yeah.
a new one for this series.
So, but I will say this: I'm going to keep watching it because we're discussing it on the show.
Okay.
I mean, even if we weren't reviewing on the show, I mean, The Stand is something that I've always loved. So out of morbid curiosity, I would still watch it just to see.
I'm gonna finish it and then I'm gonna watch the original again.
And maybe
Yeah.
maybe once I get all the pieces, though I doubt it at this point, but maybe once I get all the pieces, I could see how it'll connect. But I don't know.
I don't think it's going to connect in the way that you want it to.
I don't think it is.
But
either.
I do. I don't know. There's just enough of it there to keep me going. I always say I'll give a show 3 episodes. If it's not got me in 3 episodes, I'm out. I'm not going to invest any time in
Well,
a
it
new
hasn't
series.
gotten me in 5.
I understand that. I understand that. It did catch me, not in a way that Breaking Bad or
no.
Sons of Anarchy or any of the other amazing shows that we've talked about, but for an hour-long, miniseries, yeah, it's
got your
my
hooks in you.
attention.
All
It's got
right,
my
all right,
attention.
all right,
Yeah.
all right.
I'll just say that.
Well, we'll give you our final opinion on the Stand miniseries in our next multimedia segment because it'll
That'll
definitely
be
be
wrapped up
wrapped by then.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
talk about WandaVision because that is our next one. And we'll have probably about another good 4 or 5 episodes of it that we'll be talking about. Well, by the time,
It'll
we'll
be
see.
halfway over by
Well,
then.
First
yeah,
episode of
I'd say-
WandaVision doesn't have me.
See, and that's
There's
what's
two.
weird.
There's two.
I
that
haven't
are out.
watched the second episode yet, but the first one didn't get me.
See,
I love 'em.
Both of them got me.
I
I
got 'em.
I loved both of them.
Yep.
Oh,
I
this
agree.
is good. I like this. Most people don't get division on this
Yep,
show. We
yep.
all agree too much.
we have WandaVision.
Mm.
Sorry.
Alrighty, guys. I think that's going to do it for this episode of the Red Moon Podcast. You see all the social down there.
Mhm.
That's right. You can join us, follow us on all of our social media accounts. Red Moon Book, Red Moon Tweet, Red Moon Pics, Red Moon Productions,
Wow.
Red Moon everything.
Yep. We're
Just
here
go
until
on
we
there.
get canceled.
That's right. We hope that doesn't happen.
It might one day.
Maybe. If
Maybe
if,
one
if we
day.
do end up showing the stuff that we do
We
behind
gave
the
a
scenes,
positive review to Run, Hide, Fight, so that's
going to flag
a done
us.
deal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That might be the.
Well, when I add the keywords in there in the search description, that's probably what's going to do us in. So we'll see.
yeah.
But no, right there at the bottom of your screen, follow us. Click that bell icon for notifications. Subscribe, like, share. Please help us any way you can. And as always, you can email us, rmpodcast@redmoonproductions.com. So until next time, I am one of your hosts, Brandon Davidson, alongside our normal new host.
Sean Sebastian.
And
Keith Cheatham. I
you didn't
butchered
have
this
one.
one.
You
Wow.
didn't have it
but
up.
I can't read it.
Oh!
I can try.
You do
Mrs.
it.
Beelzebub likes to stop and regurgitate the extrasensory diamond whittling pedal do on paracorporal mountains.
He got it.
We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. For more reviews, previous podcast shows, and everything Red Moon, visit our website, redmoonproductions.com. You can also like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for Red Moon Productions, LLC. We'll see you at the movies.